Gurumdari, Namaskar, good afternoon. I, Mrinmay Raskumari, Secretary, Shakti Manipur, extend warm welcome to all the invitees, participants on the fourth day of the webinar series of 7 days program on Yuwa Shakti Abhiyan. At the outset of the program, I would like to request Professor Asa Gupta, President Manipur Shakti, to say Shakti prayer.
Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Ishavasya Midam Sarvam Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagat Tena Tyaktena Bhunjitha Magradah Kasya Svidhanam Vidyam cha avidyam cha yastadvedo bhayam saha avidyaya mrityum tirtva vidyamrata mashnute. Over to Mrenmai.
Thank you, ma'am. On the fourth day of this webinar series on the 7 days program of Yuwa Shakti Abhiyan, we have with us today a resource person, Dr. Lilee Mayanglambam, Assistant Professor, Department of Sociology, Manipur University. She will be talking on the topic, Woman Bander as Entrepreneur, Problem and Prospect. Street banding becomes an integral part of urbanization, where urban poor are making their living from this sector, as well as providing cheap goods and services at affordable prices to urban dwellers. Women constitute a large segment of these street vendors and support their family and are financially independent, and they also play a great role in boosting economy. However, street banding is perceived negatively because of the congestion resulting out of the ever-increasing number of street vendors walking in the sidewalks and streets, creating an intense struggle for space among the vendors and pedestrians. These street vendors face different types of conflicts and challenges pertaining to banding zones, and also face harassment from different agencies. Today, our resource person will be talking on the women banders as entrepreneurs, problem and prospect with special reference to Manipur. So on behalf of Manipur Shakti, welcome today's resource person, Dr. Lilee Mayanglambam, Assistant Professor, Department of Sociology, Manipur University. Welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I also extend warm welcome to all the invitees, participants on the fourth day webinar series of the 7 days program on Yuwa Shakti Abhiyan. I would also like to welcome Professor Asa Gupta, President Manipur Shakti, who has been tirelessly work for the betterment to promote women of Manipur. And lastly, but not the least, I extend warm welcome to all the members of Manipur Shakti. Welcome you all on today's webinar. So without further delay, I request Benita to introduce a resource person to the participants.
Good afternoon, everyone. Now I have to read the biodata of Dr. Lilee Mayanglambam. Dr. Lilee Mayanglambam is currently teaching as Assistant Professor in the Department of Sociology, Manipur University, a central university in Imphal. She is serving Manipur University Kanchipur since 2010. She earned BA 2006 from GCG to Chandigarh and the MA in Sociology 2008, PhD in Sociology 2016 from the Department of Sociology, CAS, Punjab University, Chandigarh. She qualified UGC, NET and GRF in 2007, 2008 and 2009. She completed research project sponsored by ICSSR New Delhi 2019. Her area of the research and the teaching interest encompasses gender studies, sociology of Northeast India, social stratification and minority studies. She has more than a dozen research papers published in reputed national and international journals and 7 books chapters. She has presented, delivers more than 23 research papers, invited lectures in national as well as international seminar, conference, and workshop. She attended more than a dozen training workshops and short-term courses. The title of today's topic is Women Vendor as Entrepreneurs, Problem and the Prospect. Now I am looking forward to Dr. Lilee. Thank you.
Thank you, Vanita. Well, I think some introduction is no more needed. Vanita said a lot about me. Well, today I am with the kind permission from the President and other member. Today I am going to present Women Vendor as Entrepreneur, Problem and Prospect. So here, let me share my screen. Well, actually, this topic is not new to us because we are born and brought up here, and we see how the role of women's vendors are taking place in the state. But still, I would like to highlight some grievances or some prospects. There is a possibility to become a career house, a career home for young women. So next, in my lecture, it includes some brief introduction, then objective and methodology. Here I explain what is the objective of this paper and what are the methodologies. And then accordingly, I come up with some finding in this three angle. That is critical review on relevant literature. Then second finding that was on women vendor as entrepreneur, problem or challenges. Third one, that is the prospect of women vendor as entrepreneur. So, and in the last slide, it includes concluding remarks. First, in introduction part, I discuss about the concept of entrepreneurship and then how it is related. It's going to relate to the women vendor, the big questions. Now, the concept of entrepreneurship that is commonly understood as the process of exploring the opportunity in the marketplace and arranging resources required exploiting this opportunity for long-term gain. And if we look at the origin of the word, it is translated from French word that is entrepreneur, literally means one who undertakes. So in other words, we can say that it is the process of planning, organizing opportunities and assuming. So we can safely conclude to say that, it is a risk of business enterprise. And then if we look at the entrepreneurial activities, they are substantially different depending on the type of organization and creativity involved. So entrepreneurship ranges in scale from solo project, even involving the entrepreneur only part-time, to major undertaking, creating many job opportunity. I will explain why I am giving some kind of definition and entrepreneurial activities. And then if we look at who are the entrepreneurs, then of course, after reading some books on entrepreneur, he or she is the one who is taking risks or the one who is the planner, or they are often contrasted with the manager and administrator who are said to be more methodical and less prone to risk taking. And in the by looking at the many literature on entrepreneur or the entrepreneurship. So an entrepreneur is commonly defined as an individual who organizes or operates a business or businesses. Then my question is, then who are women vendor? They are also doing more or less the same job to those people who are the entrepreneur. Then who become a women vendor in Manipur? Who are they? Are they come from the well-to-do family, or are they come from the weak, economically weak background? So these are the some questions I would like to answer at the end. There are many theories also, say in economics, in sociology, in psychology, in management and other, or even sometimes equilibrium approaches, capability approaches, and then not discipline-wise, but combined theory are also there. Entrepreneurship theory could be also from interdisciplinary perspective, but I am not going to explain from each discipline perspective because I need another lecture for this. So I just would like to highlight that there are many theories on entrepreneurship. Then let me come to the objective of the paper. As I already mentioned, one that is on the critical review on the relevant literature on entrepreneurship or women vendor. And then to highlight the problems or the challenges of women vendor as entrepreneur. And then the last one, that is to map the prospects of women vendor as entrepreneur. Now, methodological part. First, in order to fulfill the first objective, I have collected the literature that is called secondary sources from official record or the data from like municipalities, because the municipality in the urban area used to handle the record or data of women vendors. And then censuses, textbook, newspaper, journal, magazine, then unpublished research work and other e-sources. From that sources, I came across some research gap regarding the entrepreneurship and women vendor as well. And then as far as the primary data is concerned, as I mentioned, I have collected from the municipalities, and then I came to know that there is a two type of vendor. That is, one is license holder and another one is non-license holder. And then I will explain further. Primary data is also being collected through interview schedule, field experience, and observation. And then finally, after collecting the data, that data was used for tabulation and the data analysis through statistical package for social sciences. That is also known, that software is also known as SPSS. And then here I would like to show my field area. When I come across the secondary sources, most of the studies or most of the literatures, they are focused only on women market of Khairamban Bazaar. And they have enough literature on, if we look at the historical or literature, we got enough material for how and when and where market was started. But none of the literature was on any other markets which are existing in the satellite town. That is why I selected one of the neglected market among many market in Manipur. So that is in the Kaksing Bazaar. This market in this picture, it shows that on one side, which is the green pillar, the building side, this side held by those vendor who have the license. They are the license holder vendor. And on another side, which is the Kachap shed, it is held by the non-license holder, but you will not believe they were sitting there for more than 50 years, but yet to avail license. That is why they are not able to enter the full-fledged markets. I have many pictures, but I was struggling to put all the pictures here. That's why I'm showing only one picture, which can see both license holder and non-license holder. I'm not talking about street vendor. I'm talking about those vendor who are sitting there for more than 10 years, 20 years, or maybe more than 50 years. and who are associated with this women market job. So first finding that is in relation to the critical reviews on literature. As I already mentioned, most of the studies, if we look at the literature on entrepreneurship, I found one common point among the book those who are on entrepreneurship, that most of the studies are focused on those entrepreneurs who were already succeeded in their respective business through any type of struggles in their own respective life. But uh, but hardly there is book on those women who attempted to become entrepreneurship. But and then if we compare, and then some literature are also come up with such finding that when we compare the business women, successful business women with businessmen, uh, women are less in number at the formal market, in the larger extent. And then when we look and analyze the issue or the grievances of women vendor in Manipur, they are never viewed from entrepreneurial perspective, because today in Manipur also we have number of successful entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs, but we never compare or we never associate with the one who is sitting more than 50 years and more than 50 years and feeding their families, and then helping to their not only family, in the larger extent in the society as well. But we never look them from the entrepreneurial perspective. And then, as I said, number of research are done on women vendor of Mayanglambam market of Imphal city, but neglected the other women at the satellite town or village. Because why I'm saying this research gap, because other women who are in the other district are also doing the more or less same job, but their studies are very less, and I didn't find many good studies on them also. Even there is no record at all in a proper way. And then another big uh, loopholes when I deal with this issue, there is a lack of documentation or the official record on the emergence of women market in almost all the district of Manipur except Mayanglambam market. And then another interesting finding, what I come across, that is the earning of women. Well, it's a every one of us already experienced or already heard from someone, and we have to witness that many renowned persons, their mothers are street vendor or the women vendor at some point of time, and then their children are in the big offices, in the big positions. But the earning of women vendor at formal market are never officially documented. How much they earn, how much they, put in their business. Therefore, it is very difficult to conclude how much their income from vending have at the domestic, state domestic product or the other medium of calculating state income. Though they can, their family could survive at their individual level, but there is no such kind of mechanism they could say that in their earning have at the state level that much. There is no mechanism as of now. And then some findings on the challenges or the problem faced by the women vendor as entrepreneur. Let us imagine that each and every individual who are women vendor as an entrepreneur. But if we look at who are they, the question I asked in the introductory part, most of when I interact with them, most of the women vendor, they said that more than 80%. They said that when we have financial problem in our family, that's why we came to the market to earn and survive, and that is why they came to the market. So most of them are belong to socio-economic poor category. And then another issue in Manipur, that is okay, everyone, any women who are not government employee or who are jobless, if he or she want to go to market, then how? There is no such kind of awareness cell to sensitize them then how to approach and how to become a woman vendor. But and even if he or she knows that how to how to get license, but it's very difficult to assess or occupy one license set at women market. And this I come up with this finding because I talked to many a member of the municipality, and they said the process, forms are available in this website, but still they have to fill up the form, and they have to bring those requirements, and then they have to submit to the municipality. Then they will make the list one by one, but it takes long time. The shortcut, they don't have other means or shortcut, or to sit at the market immediately if they want. But so there many women face difficulty or difficult to assess or occupy one seat at the market. So that is another big challenge to the young women who want to be at the market. And then when I talk to my respondents, they said that being a women, we have to handle the household work, though they have to go to the market, but it's very hard to manage what household work as well as market business. But still, they are managing because they don't have other option. They have to do both. And then another finding. Most of the women who are, in the market, they are majority of them are illiterate, and they are socially very poor, economically very poor, and they are illiterate. What is the consequences? Then they did not avail, benefit or scheme that mean for them. For example, say if the street vendor, the women vendor is the license holder, then she can apply for loan if her age is not up to 60. Then such kind of facilities, bank or the government schemes are there, but they are not aware at all, because most of them are illiterate, especially the aged women. They are illiterate, and there is. And I asked that is there any awareness program has ever been given by the municipality or any other concerned authority about the schemes or other possible policy for them? They don't know. They said they never heard or never come any persons to tell about the schemes or other benefits. And then most of the aged women, they said, even if I am a license holder, but my age is about 60 and 65, then even if we want to take loan from the bank, they were not allowed, or because because of their age. This is the another challenge and grievances the most of the women have when I talk to them. And then another finding that is on the about 33% of widowed women vendors were managing to run the household without much financial help from the from others. Actually, when I studied their profile, and I came to know that 33% of them are widowed. And they said that they don't have much such kind of financial help from other when they start their household work, household requirement, or the market business. And but they prefer to take loan. It's not like that they don't want loan, but they prefer to take loan to expand their business, but there is lack of helping hand. And then another finding, though majority of women were making profit, but unfortunately, 85% of them could not save their respective profit for future uses. They said that it's some like just earn and finish, earn and finish. There is no saving at all for them. So when they are not well, and they are in debt. Again, some more findings about this second objective. Then besides, family requirement, fees, fees of transport, set, chowkidar, electricity, etc. also lead them to no saving. And I further asked that why you can't save your, on one side you said that you earn, and there is very, they most of the time they earn and they make profit. Then why you can't save the money? I asked further like that, and they said that not only market set fees they're supposed to pay, but they're supposed to pay all the other kind of fees like transport, for chowkidar, for electricity, even then such kind of extra fees they're supposed to give to fulfill, to retain or to remain at that their concerned seat. So and this is, they said that this is a big challenge for them if the government allow such kind of system that there is no fee and free transport, just like in school and in university and other private sector, free transport or the transport system, the minimum charges, if such kind of system are there, it will be very helpful to them. And then another point, as I already mentioned, lack of training program to improve their technical skills. Technical skills means here, say in market, most of the women vendors are illiterate, but still how to preserve and how to remain fresh their vegetables or other selling items, they don't have much technical skills if and no training for them from the government side also. So this also may lead spoil to their products, selling products. And then another unfortunate thing, that is the no tap water or tap of drinking water in the entire market. They have to bring by themselves. And then another great challenges they face, there is no proper storage room. So for the vegetable seller, if the burn or blockade happen, a lot of materials or product they lost, and then some people they said that because of the long burn and blockages, they are in debt and they are not able to come to the market for some time also. And then one positive point about this market, that is no child labor in the entire market. I haven't seen any child who are working at the market who are doing job, but there is no child labor. Probably we can say that. But women, have to do all the work by themselves. And then another problem that seems to be not a big problem, but when I talk to them, this is a big problem. That is the problem of market set structure. First, the way they structure the traditional structure, the sitting structure, that they were sitting there for more than 10, 20, 30, 40 years. Because of that sitting positions, health issue in unimaginable way. So a lot of health problems come up with the women who are, especially the aged women, so especially the way they sit, and because the size is very small and they hardly could sleep for a long time also. So that is why the market set or the market structure, it need to change for them. So women friendly, set or aged women friendly structure is the need of the hour if we really want to preserve such kind of traditional institutes or market in Manipur. And then another health issue also coming from lack of proper drainage system, especially at the rainy season. And let's move on next finding. I'm coming to the conclusion. So another last finding about the prospect of women vendor as entrepreneur. First of all, it preserved the traditional market institute, which is, we all know that this is exclusively run by women. And if we look at the history of women market in Manipur, especially in Khairamban Bazaar, we believe that it's a more than 500-year-old, and more than 5,000 women running the business, right? So if we keep developmental program in the market area, then not only it will bring development, but it will also preserve the traditional market system in Manipur. And another prospect, that is the employment generation. As we already learned from the field that, their children are in the big officials, their children are in the proper position, they settle, their economically sound. And it could be a career for young women for livelihood very easily if they got a proper set or proper, business options. Then it could be a career for young women for livelihood and economical. And I do believe that, economically independent could lead them to empowerment in some extent. And then besides shaping the career of children, of their respective family, their earning from banding can easily manage the household requirement. This is another big contribution to the family. Then market sphere is not just a simple sphere. The visibility of women from all across all community, all background. The market, women market is such a place that we, as an market goer or the as a consumer, we can observe so many pictures of women of different part of Manipur, and then is a and then at the same time for the women vendor also, it's not a simple space. It is such a space, public space, that they have an opportunity to take part not only in economic activity, but also they get the chance to the collective decisions to give an ideas or to give their voice to the any decision making in the societal issues. We have many witnesses. And another interesting point, when I talk to some aged women who are above 85 and who are above 80s, and then I said that, oh Ima, why you come to the market? You seems to be very old. Said that no. How about your children and others, family member? They said that, oh, see, it's not about earning money only. When we are at home, we are not happy. We are here for more than 50 years, and we market is just like their second home. And my all children are already settled. They all are in the big higher positions. We are just here to time pass, right? No pressure at all financially, but they feel good. So psychologically they are very happy. They are, and they said that we almost forgot our grievances, our health problem when they come to the market. So I think this is a very good point for the aged women. There's also that is why in Manipur we don't need much about old home. So market is the place where the women can spend their time at the late stage. So, and then let me come to the concluding remark. Say at one time when we read about gender, then one point it hindered our mind, that is the patriarchal ideology of male as producer and female as consumer. We will find, if we read books on the gender inequality in almost all aspects. But when I think and rethink about this topic, by looking at the patriarchal ideology of male as producer and female as consumer, but it seems to be not fully applicable in case of women market in Manipur. When I talk to them, they are financially sound, they can take decision in many ways, and then they are not afraid at all, whatever the problems comes to their life. So in some extent, this ideology seems to be not fully, applicable when it comes to women market. And then from this research project, this research project shows the potential of women in managing their respective family and business as well, without much help from other sources. This is another remarkable and another point where we can appreciate the women's vendors who can survive there for more than decades. And then let me link with the entrepreneurship. Now we know why I explained the definition of entrepreneurship or the entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is in the starting slide. It said that the one who is taking risks, or the one who is planning. When I talk to the women vendor also, I don't think they are less than the one who is the big successful entrepreneur at a larger scale. Then if entrepreneur is the main thread of any successful economic activity, this is also another common definition we come across when we talk about entrepreneurs. If this is the case, then can women vendor of Ima market be called new entrepreneur or micro entrepreneur? This is my research question, and this is my question to all of you for further research. And if it is yes, if the answer is yes, then we need to reconceptualize the definition of entrepreneurship from the local context. Means the definition which are, as I already said in the review of literature part, that entrepreneurs or the entrepreneurship, they are meant for only successful women most of the time. I'm not saying all the time, but most of the time. So if we look at the definition of entrepreneurship or the entrepreneur right now we have, if we compete, or if we compare with the women vendors of Manipur, then my question to all of you is, can we call women vendor of Manipur a new entrepreneur or the micro entrepreneur? Because most of them are dealing at the micro level. So, if this is the case, then we need to reconceptualize the definition of entrepreneurship by looking at the local context. So, ma'am, that's all I come up with some finding. There are a lot of things to say, but let me share that much. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lilee Mayanglambam, for the nice presentation.
Thank
You
you.
have talked how women cope up banding along with the household work,
Yes, yes.
and how women, after having 50 years of banding business, are yet to avail license.
Yes,
And
yes,
about the
that is
pathetic
problem.
condition, about the pathetic condition of the market sets and not having proper sanitation. But having all this problem, these women bander, they preserve the tradition, and it's a career, and it can support the family, and they become financially independent. And the women from all communities are coming together. Then they share idea. This is a very good thing, that women from different background and communities coming together and sharing ideas. Thank you very much for the nice presentation. So I would request Professor Asa Gupta to moderate for the question answer session.
Thank you, Mrenmai. I thank Dr. Lily for giving a very beautiful lecture. We are really benefited from your lecture. Of course, we know the things that how women in Manipur, they are very hardworking, how they strive very hard to keep their families work smoothly. They have to face a lot of problems, lot of struggle is there. They have to strive a lot, and then they come to market, and then as vendor they start their work with low capital, as you have told, because there is no other way for them. They are many times they're coming from poor background. Of course, there are some who are very literate. I have seen them, one with MSc, and then in Pongba market, and then she is telling name of many doctors who are colleagues, and then she said that she left MSc after first year due to some problem, and then long back, and then she's talking in English with me, and very beautifully she's explaining, and then she's saying that earlier I had problem, now I'm having my settled I mean these son and these daughters, but still I enjoy coming here. I enjoy talking to my fellow colleagues who are here. We discuss. We are just like a family. We share each other's happiness and grief like that. So I enjoy coming over here. So I mean, and then they discuss all sort of topics. They discuss their politics also. They
Yes, yes.
discuss their day-to-day problems which are there in Manipur societies, the different vices, maybe drug addiction or whatever. So they are very aware, though people may think here that they are from poor background, no doubt many of them, but they are mentally they are aware, socially they are aware. So this is a beautiful thing which I have seen after coming in Manipur, because I'm coming from a different place, and therefore what I have observed that Manipuri women, they are extremely hardworking. I mean, because I'm coming from Maharashtra, and in I am also working hard after coming here very much for all these things, household chores and maintaining the thing in department, keeping competition with colleagues, male colleagues or whosoever are there, and coming ahead. So all these things are there, but in general, in I mean, whatever what to say level of society we see, whether it is the level which you have described from a poor background, something, they are all very hardworking. They take part in social activities. They help their families. They help their children. and then they are politically also aware. So this is the beauty which I have seen here in Manipur. We know that Ima market, the largest in Asia for selling vegetables and all these things, where all the products are there. It's a beautiful sight. And then what I propose that, I mean, in some way in your projects, because you see, I will just show you, if you can see. This is the work we have done. It is on traded biodiversity in Manipur. So, you know, in different market, the products which they are selling, of course, clothes, etc., they are also very typical, very unique which they have got. But for example, in Churachandpur, it will be different. In Ukhrul, it will be different. In Ima market, here it is different. Of course, here many are coming from other parts also. So because the markets are established in different places, in hill districts and others, so I mean, now the problem of transportation also to a great extent it is solved because those vendors are helped. But still, the basic facilities which you have pointed out, they are very much essential to give the authorities, the municipal corporations, and other. They should think very seriously so that they will be helped. For their welfare, it is important to bring out those schemes. It is very much needed. Sanitation is another thing which you have said. Loan, for example, awareness for loan facility. Why our people, why they cannot give the awareness? Because the schemes are there, they have to be made aware. So, of course they have got some small union among themselves. Every market has got some union, and that they discuss their that how to solve their problem. But I think if it is there at a little greater level, higher level, then I think they may be able to solve these problems amicably, and what to say, they can make their collective voice heard. So I think you have put very nicely the issues, and
Thank you.
we are getting those issues very clearly, though we understand, but still, knowing from a person who has worked in the field, the primary data has been collected by you, not only the secondary. You are talking on that basis, so it is very important that they should be given proper facilities, proper space, proper shade, which you have talked also. These are all things which should be given. Society should look into their welfare, and then it is very much important. You have told that you are asking question, they should be what type of entrepreneur they should be called. Of course, they are all informal entrepreneur. I'm not what to say from your subject, so I will not comment on that. But still, I feel all of them, they are unique and they are informal entrepreneur, because they are what to say, contributing to the welfare of their family, to boost the economic status of the family, and also the economy of state is also coming up. But you have pointed out very important thing that I think you are saying that how much income, how much it is contributed to SDP, state domestic product. So it is
Mhm.
still not known. Why it is not known? I cannot. There are so universities, there are so many research scholars are there. I think somebody should take up this project for PhD or
Yes.
something, and it should be worked out also, because it is. Then you have pointed out that establishment of those markets are not known. So except Ima market. But I think maybe if we go in the field and talk with the elderly persons or something, some some answer may be there.
Ma'am,
Maybe it is.
I started with Kaksing Bazaar, and I come across one such chapter, how it started. It's totally different from Khairamban Bazaar. So I would love to share in another
Some other
session.
time. Yeah, yeah,
There's
sure.
a long story on how it was originated.
Yes, yes, sure. So I think you have made very, very good points. From this, my observations, which we have in our this thing project, which we have undertaken, different market survey, that what we have found, that very unique diversity is there. They are custodian of this knowledge. They know that in what way. I mean, they are collecting it from the wild place also, going in the
Yes.
jungle and the forest.
Yes.
Many
Yes.
mushrooms, for example,
Mhm.
in Ukrul and other places, we are asking. The unique mushrooms are there. If you go in Ukrul, it is different. See in Andhro, somewhere on the market, it is different. If you go to Churachandpur side or this None side, it is different. So unique diversity is there. They have got knowledge where it is there, how it is. So they are having good knowledge of diversity also. And then they know that how to collect, when to collect, and they are, because this resource is constantly required for their livelihood. So they are, I mean, then also I think conservators are there protecting this diversity, because they're not collecting whole that they will get benefit at one time and tomorrow it is not there, because it is perpetual source they require. So this I want to point out, and then that they are manager of biodiversity, that I will say, that they are collecting also, they are bringing also, they are selling also. So some of them may be collecting or maybe bartered also, some things are bartered also in the market, but still I feel that they are a great what to say, agent for food security of us, food security, then biodiversity conservation. And then in that way I think we should look them as the, what to say, bearers of knowledge as far as the conservation of diversity is concerned. And then they are unique, I mean, unique products are there everywhere, whether there are plant products or animal products. We have seen that in if Vishnupur market it is different, Ukrul market it is different, Ima market of course many things are coming, but here also different things are there. So even the I mean freshwater snails are there, or some other things are there, they are unique in different places. These animal products, fishes, etc., they are there, how they are protected, preserved, etc. In many places also they have converted into products. For example, in Sanapati also some juices are there, some other things also they have made. So in that way they are turning toward the entrepreneurship. They are turning toward the entrepreneurship, that the raw material only is not sold, but they are making product out of it. Maybe it may be on this small scale. So I think our development agency should look into that, and then they should come forward so that they will have better, decent livelihood earnings. And these spots, I think, these our bazars, these our markets, they can be developed as the tourism spot. That is that I feel earnestly, because they're very unique as far as the products which are sold in the market. So I think a government should think about it, that whether it is feasible that these markets, they can be developed as the tourism spot. They can be developed as the. So with this, now I request the participants to shoot their questions to Dr. Lilee. Anyone who asks questions, please ask your questions to Dr. Lilee. Please unmute yourself and ask question to Dr. Lilee. I think you have explained so well. And it is very interesting topic also. So they are I mean, and they're trying to understand and knowing it. But sometime, as you have told, that it is really interesting that, for example, you are saying that the establishment, how it got established and how it got developed. So because we need to keep these records. We need to keep these records. How the development is taking place, is it not?
Yes, ma'am, actually, just one point I would like to add. Why I choose this topic. When my supervisor or any other who are from outside state, when they come to Manipur, they thought that, you know, the women of Manipur are very active, very independent. Their visibility is commendable in the public spheres if we compare to a remote village in the other states in India. Then, but that is true. On one side, as far as the visibility of them is concerned, it's quite commendable. But when we interact with them in the ground reality, who are they, why they are there, are all they willing to be willing to become women bender? That was my concern. That no, grievances side is also there. So that is why I just took this topic and did one research project. That was sponsored by Indian Council of Social Science Research, New Delhi.
So you have sent them some recommendations or something?
Yeah, already submitted. Everything is completed, but I just would like to share those findings, because there is no direct connection from us to government, though we did a lot of research. But still, I thought that giving some, sharing some findings, the ground reality with any listener, then maybe someday they will reach.
Because there is one policy act National Vendors Policy Act 2014. I want to know whether it is implemented in the state or not.
Ma'am, that policy was actually meant for street vendor.
Okay.
So yeah, it is for all over India. But here, the street vendor and the one
This is different. Yeah, this
yeah,
is
this is
different.
little
Okay.
bit different.
This is
I was
different. Yes.
thinking to incorporate all those street vendor, but it's very difficult to catch them because some are on coming on the daily basis, some are not in the regular
They
basis.
are not. Yes,
So,
yes. It is.
so that is why I need separate project for them. So these street vendors are there in my respondents, but they are the permanent street vendor.
These are permanent street vendors, of course,
Yes,
with
yes.
sitting in the market and other. Okay.
Yes. Okay,
So
ma'am.
I think with this, uh, we head over to Mrenmai for further proceeding.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, madam. And thank you, Dr. Lilee, for the nice presentation. Now I request Dr. Daisy Angom to give vote of thanks.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Mrinmay, for giving me this golden opportunity to propose vote of thanks of today's section of Yuva Shakti Abhiyan. I, on behalf of Manipur Shakti, extend my sincere thanks to Dr. Lilee Mayanglambam, Assistant Professor, Department of Sociology, Manipur University, our resource person, for presenting her valuable and interesting paper entitled Women Vendor as Entrepreneur, Problem and Prospect. Madam, your presentation has a unique taste, enlightening us about women's structure, then financial constraints, etc. You have also emphasized that women vendor provide a platform to give their voice in decision making, share their ideas, refresh their minds, and also enables to show that women are not only consumers but also producers or breadwinners. I sincerely express my heartfelt thanks to you for sparing your valuable time and sharing your ideas. We expect further series of lectures in this field for the upliftment of women's status and maintenance of stable economy of our society in the near future, as women play a very important role in the economy of our society, our IMA market being the glaring example with more than 5,000 women running business, preserving our unique tradition. I also extend my sincere thanks to Dr. Kanzam Binita, Assistant Professor, Lamka College, Churachampur, for introducing today's resource person, Dr. Lilee, to all the members present in the fourth section of Yuva Shakti Abhiyan. Thank you, Binita. Thanks is also due to Mrinmay Rajkumari, Secretary Manipur Shakti, for the warm welcome and also for conducting this session very smoothly. You have contributed a lot in making this section a grand one. I also express my deepest gratitude to all the invitees and participants of this webinar for your full cooperation, lively interaction, and support in making this webinar a grand one. Next, sincere thanks is also due to our President, Manipur Shakti, Dr. Asha Gupta, for the lively interaction, useful suggestions, sharing your valuable information relevant on this topic. I express my thanks to you for the pratana at the beginning and Santi part to be performed after this, submitting to the Almighty, praying for the betterment of each one of us and for the success of this webinar. Madam, your field of interest is really vast and we admire your unique vision. Thank you, ma'am. I also extend my sincere thanks to our system administrator, Mr. Nahapam Santosh Singh, for his tireless effort in making this webinar a success. We are really grateful to you. I once again extend my heartfelt thanks to all the delegates of this fourth section of Yuva Shakti Abhiyan. With this, I conclude my vote of thanks. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Dr. Daisy. I request Professor Asa Gupta to do Santipat and declare the webinar close.
Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. With this, I declare the webinar as closed. Let us meet tomorrow again at 5 p.m. for our day 5 session.